oftentimes when people are criticized, they automatically assume it's because you're out to get them,
Yeah.
right?
God damn. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So I would definitely have gone like, "Hey man, like I'm your friend and like I love you, but like when you're doing this, this is how I feel. And when this happens, that's how I feel. And I don't really like that, and I'm not sure if like I know you care about me, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention. If I had the presence of mind, Jerome, I would have definitely phrased it that way.
Welcome to the 7 Dimensions of Wellness, the podcast that helps you reassess your habits and helps you progress. The 7 dimensions are as follows: spiritual, physical, emotional, career, intellectual, environmental, and social. Reassess, progress. This is the 7 Dimensions of Wellness. Hey runners! Quick heads up, this episode was pre-recorded last year around Christmas time. I didn't know when to publish this live session. Now that we're on the second seasons of 7 Dimensions of Wellness, I figured, why not post it there? The talk will fall under the social dimension. It's all about maintaining healthy relationships. Join Will and I talk about family and friends, reunions, and a little bit of Filipino culture. Enjoy. Welcome to part 2 of night 12. This is, what's the title again? Yeah, questions to avoid during reunions. Gam is still not here. He's knocked out. He's losing sleep. So please, everyone, runners, please wish him well. He's been stressed lately. There we go. But we do have a special guest back from your demands and from your endless questions of, is he single? Yes, he is. Okay. Well, please welcome voice actor, YouTuber, and mental health advocate, Will Akana. Hey, man. Welcome.
Hey, it's good to be back. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Woo! Okay. So, dude, how have you been recently? Yeah.
I've been good. As you mentioned, I had a film festival, the Elevate Film Festival, that I attended a couple nights ago. We aired 2 of my short films from Just Act Shorts, which is available on Instagram if you guys want to check that out, or YouTube. And it was an immense success, had a lot of fun, and I'm definitely stoked to create more content next year.
Definitely. Working on that New Year's resolution already?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so thanks, man. Oh, by the way, I do have like a very, very quick question. Still about reunions. We did talk about this earlier. And here is still the question of the day for everyone is, do you like reunions?
Reunions. So we're talking specifically family reunions, right?
Yeah, family reunions.
So I think it totally depends, because I think some people are just very close with their family, other people aren't as close, and I think I fall into the camp where I'm not as close to my extended family. I'll have reunions with my immediate family, because my sister she's an action star doing her own thing, and it's not always commonplace for all of us to get together, the 4 of us. But as far as extended family, as I mentioned to you before we went live, I haven't been to an extended family reunion since it's been like 4 or 5 years, and I think it was like a Christmas or Thanksgiving gathering. It doesn't strike me as too memorable. But I don't know. I'm just not as close with my extended family. So what can I say?
Yeah, it's okay, man. Like, not everyone is close with their extended family. Like, me too, honestly. Just close with my immediate family. So, just a very quick refresher. Like, the last time we talked about this, you talk about your specs. And for the 4 viewers who are watching, they already said, hi, baby Will. Hello.
Baby Will, I'm a grown man. Can you not see? Okay. Maybe it's kind of baby face, but
Yeah. So, can you tell us about your specs again, for our audience to know?
wait, specs?
Yeah, like ethnicity. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Our
that is
specs.
so like Final Fantasy like game review. Like, what are your specs, bro? Like, what are your stats?
Yeah.
Okay, my stats are 25%. Okay, it's all in quarters. It's very even. My dad's half Hawaiian, half Japanese, and then my mom is half Filipino, half white. So she's from the Philippines. A Navy man found her mom, and they got together and did stuff. Oh my gosh, I did not silence my phone. Excuse me. Now it's
That's
silent.
okay.
So yeah, I'm a quarter Hawaiian, quarter Japanese, quarter white, quarter Filipino.
Awesome, dude. Here's a very personal question because uh, you're a quarter of everything. Was it difficult growing up? Like, what language did you learn growing up, man?
Oh,
Hawaiian, Filipino?
okay. So my mom would speak sometimes Filipino, Tagalog.
Yeah, Tagalog.
Yeah, she would speak it mostly when she was angry. So the words that I know in Tagalog are not the nicest. But I know things like salamat po and tubig and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we primarily grew up speaking English. I kind of wish my mom spoke Tagalog more along like when we were growing up, but nah, it was mostly English basically.
I gotcha. Because I'm really bit surprised when I was reviewing our previous podcast that you know a lot of Filipino words, and our audience was surprised too, especially the part
Mm.
with when you said sige sige. It's kind of like okay
Yeah,
okay, right? And then
yeah.
like everyone was like, holy, yeah, we can curse. Holy shit. Like holy shit, like oh Will knows a lot of Filipino words. And they just couldn't really believe it because at first they really thought that you're just like half Japanese and then like half white. And I was like,
Mm.
there's more to that, guys. There's more to that. So
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm very much like I grew up eating adobo and pancit and lumpia and like sinigang and all that good stuff. So I know a thing or two. I know a thing or two.
oh, here we go, here we go. So you did mention lumpia, and this is kind of like a very odd question to ask during any Filipino family reunions, even friends reunions. And this
Mm.
is when you go to someone's house, look at the food, like you're astonished, like wow, there's a lot of food, like chicken, pancit, and a lot of colas and all. You're there, you're sitting, you smell the food, and then all of a sudden, maybe one of your friends will say, why do you not have lumpia?" It's like just fucking rude. You're always like finding something that's not like there. Have you ever experienced that too with the reunions you have been attending?
In terms of like having a food preference and not having that food present at the reunion,
Yeah, yeah.
I went vegan basically like 2 3 years ago, veganish. So I can't really say it's like any get together, even parties I go to. Most of the things I cannot eat. So if I was the type of person to say that, I would probably be saying it all the time, and I probably have a lot of enemies as a result. So I don't say anything. I usually eat before I go, or I bring something. So I can't say that's very commonplace for me, but I'm taking it from your experience. That's happened quite a bit.
Yeah, a lot of times actually. And there's also another whenever you go to your friend's house, right? And I'm sure you also experience this because maybe you're very close with your friends' family, and the family asks you to eat with them, right? And then your friend goes to
Mhm.
do something else. When your friends come back, they see you with a bowl full of food. Then you're just going to like eat the food, and then they will say something like, "Oh man, do you know matakaw in Tagalog?"
Taco, no,
Oh,
no. What is that?
you're oh my god. Oh god, it's really difficult for me to explain. Matakaw is kind of like greedy when it comes to food. Like you like to eat a lot of food. Ah, you're so matakaw. Eat a lot of food.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. So
Are
that's
you like that?
oh hell no, dude. But my parents, my mom likes to call me that. Like, ah, look at that. Look at your brother. Likes to eat a lot of rice. So matakaw. Like, mom.
Is that a good thing to be Matako or a bad thing?
A bad thing because they're gonna call you
Oh.
fat. Like, oh man, stop.
Oh, well, fun fact, my nickname growing up was Bachog,
Oh,
um, because I was very fat as as a baby. It means chubby, right, in Tagalog?
yeah, it does.
Yeah, so to this day my parents call me Chog and they call me Chug.
Really?
So I'm just
Oh my
like,
god.
I don't know, I'm just being called fat my whole life.
Oh my god. Like, that's another topic, like, for another day, because
Yeah.
we do have a lot of weird nicknames growing up too. And just to share a little bit, because my name is Jerome. My
Mm-hmm.
family calls me Jeje. Jeje, like
Mm.
Jeje. Then later on, when I was learning Chinese, everyone started laughing, like especially my students, because I learned that Jeje, like how the family says it, Jeje, up and down. It's a Chinese term for elder sister. So for my entire life, I'm being called as an elder sister. I was like, I'm not a girl. Please stop.
Hey, elder, right? That's kind of respectful. Okay, maybe not the sister part, but yeah, I get you.
Exactly. Right. Thanks, man. Okay, so dude, do you have anything else to add before we start off with the questions? The questions.
Let us proceed to the question, shall we?
Oh yes, please. All right, so here we go. So we did already talk about, like, when was the last time you had a reunion, and like how was it a little bit. It was like Thanksgiving or Christmas, but
Mhm.
with the reunions, not just family reunions, man, but what do you guys usually talk about? Yeah,
With well, you're in the context of family reunions,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Context, family.
Um, From what I recall, it's mostly with my extended family. It's a lot of surface level stuff, like back when I was in college, like how are your grades doing? Like how are your studies? Like eventually, like how is your job? Like
Mm,
for me, with extended family reunions, the topic of conversation was quite surface level.
yeah.
Um, and thus I would find them very just not memorable. Just it's just okay. You're talking with your tita or tito, or like just it's just chill, and they're asking how you're doing.
Mm,
So in terms of topic of conversation, it's very like light, shallow, like oh how are you doing type of stuff, which is it's cool once in a while, but
yeah.
it's not the most engaging or enriching conversations. Which I'm not saying they have to be, but
Mm,
like you know, uh, when you're speaking with your extended family, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
exactly. It's like, if it's a small talk, it really is a small talk. Like, how are you? I'm okay. Nice talking. Okay.
Yeah,
It's like,
literally small talking. It's
mm,
literally.
yeah. But okay, so we are in the topic of questions to avoid during reunions. Was there any memorable question that really made you feel uncomfortable in answering back in the day?
Mm, I think back in the day, some of my family members wanted to know what my trajectory was in terms of career,
Yeah.
and back then I was unconscious to the extent that I didn't have any large overreaching goals. Like now I have big goals. Like my 10-year goal is to star in a sci-fi mainstream movie as a lead character
Mm-hmm.
and also to go on tour for my music. These are all 10-year goals. But back in the day I was very lost. And I think whenever I got questions about like, "Oh, where's your life headed? What the trajectory? What are your big goals?" I think I felt very uncomfortable and I would shirk and sort of shy away from answering the question directly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of difficult because it's like your family, there's this expectation of like you being successful. I had a cousin who went to like Harvard and is getting his PhD right now. He was like a pro golfer and everything. So I think there was some comparison games going on. But I think that was the most uncomfortable question of like where are you headed in life? Of which I could definitely, I could answer now.
Yeah.
But back then, that was definitely the most uncomfortable question I would have around family.
I agree. I share the same experience, man. And let me just take a very quick guess. You didn't really mention any age about it or any point of your life, but that was just a question. Was it like before you were preparing for college?
No, that was in college.
In
That was
college.
Yeah, like I was majoring in film and visual media, but like I it's a whole thing where like I spent years sort of feeling I wanted to be in front of the camera performing,
Yeah.
but I just kept taking routes of like, oh, I'll do wedding videography, I'll do photography on set, I will be an assistant director that handles paperwork and logistics, and a whole bunch of time of my life just dedicated around dancing around what I actually wanted to do before committing and being like, oh no, I actually like performing. This is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, like I did notice that, man, because I've been following you for years already. Years, man. I practically grew up with you, watching you on YouTube. And
Crazy, crazy.
right, and I have seen you like everywhere from behind the scenes, in front of the camera, and I think what really got my attention was your love and passion for short films. And I did mention this before the podcast. Really a huge fan, especially like the early funny days. Beat procrastination and
Yeah, yeah.
the yo mama jokes. Oh god, dude, like that got me real good.
Oh my gosh, what a throwback.
I know. I'm sorry. And it was really nice. So, just to go back to the topic like a little bit, I also share the same experience because there is that level of expectation coming from not just from my mom, but the extended family as well. Because as you said, again, I have no idea. Like, I think this is like a part of Filipino culture. They like to compare us like we're chickens. Like, oh, my chicken has like a lot of good stuff to do. And they're like, no, no, no. Like, oh, this guy, like our cousin, dude. Like, I remember having to sit in a conversation where my lolas, like grandmas and grandfathers, were talking about their kids, like our parents and all.
Yeah.
And my how can I say this? My auntie asked my grandma, basically her mom, I said like, Mom, like who's the better child? Who's who's the better driver? Like who do you like the most? And then my grandma
What?
yeah, and then my grandma answered like everyone is okay, but of course I love someone who's really patient with me, especially when I ask them to drive. So I was just like, okay, this is really uncomfortable, especially with the fact that all of grandma's kids were there. I know they're
Yeah.
adults, but like, dude, like, why do you have to do this?
Yeah,
Favoritism,
that's like a conversation that just sows derision between people.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's
I'm
why
so sorry you had to go through that,
I
dude.
and that's why
Jeez.
I came up with the topic.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of feeling behind this topic. I can feel it.
Definitely. Oh, dude,
Hmm.
so like going back to like the question, what do you usually talk about? Let's change the context, because you did mention earlier before the podcast that you're
Yeah.
really fond of having reunions with the boys, with your friends.
Boys. Yeah, 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 totally.
Mm. So what do you guys usually talk about whenever you see each other? Yeah.
So for me, it's like I share just to backtrack a little bit. I put a lot of value on my friends because me and my sister both share the value that we choose our family. Like this, I know there's a saying like blood is thicker than water or whatever, you know?
Mm.
We never really bought into that. And we love our friends. We view our friends as like our family, essentially. With me and the boys, like we're not the typical like masculine like. Because I was talking to my friend earlier yesterday, and she was like, "What do you guys talk about?" Like, because for all I know, that guys talk about when they're together, they talk about cars, they talk
Yeah.
about girls, and sports. And I told her, "Yo, me and my friends, we don't talk about any of that stuff. Maybe girls sometimes,
Mm-mm.
but we've said like we talk about our feelings, we talk about our dreams, we talk about our life, our fears. Um, Heck, the last time we hung out, which was the when we had a Thanksgiving trip,
Mm.
uh, one friend suggested we get together and we just present shit, and meaning like we all created PowerPoints about whatever we wanted, and for 5 minutes each, we just presented stuff we were interested in. Like my friend David, he presented stuff about cow facts because he loves cows.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a dual presentation because half of it was about cow facts, The other half of it was his favorite video game, where the object of the game was you gang up and you beat people up. So it was very interesting to see him like Cowfax, and then here's a GIF of like me and my gang like beating up someone like on the ground in this VR world. I was like, it's great, it's great. Another friend presented stuff about VTubers, like anime girls that, well, people who use like anime, VR stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, avatars, thank you. Instead of themselves. I presented on my belief that there is no free will. Yeah, so it was very interesting. So we just talk about a range of stuff. A lot of it is very like personal, like things about that's going on in our lives. Like we're not afraid to talk about like shit that's going like deep down inside, if you know what I mean.
I gotcha, dude. And I just really want to say that I admire that idea. Like, you just gather with your boys. Okay, let me let me explain. Because growing up, we didn't really have that connection. Especially me and Gam. Me and Gam like go way way back, but we never really talk about our feelings. And I just want to say I admire that because it shows that you can be really vulnerable and have that safe environment, to the boys, regardless
Oh yeah.
if they're online or you gotta be in physical proximity and all. It just goes to
Yeah.
show that, oh, dude, you know what? I'm with you and I love you, and I think like for Filipinos, like especially for me, like deep down, kind of feel like bromance, but of
Oh
course
yeah.
that's a way for you
Yeah,
to.
one of my friends, his presentation ranged, and he talked about what the definition of homosexual,
No way.
and the definition is like when you and your boys are doing low key gay shit, but y'all are like really good friends, so it's all good. Like when you hug each other and be like, "I love you, man."
Yeah, yeah.
Like we make that joke, like, "Yeah, we're not gay, we're just homosexual." You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I do remember like a story, and this is League of Legends related, man. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this. So
Oh boy.
I have this friend, and we just got like we're partners, like duo, bot lane and then support. And it was a time when Rakan and Zaya went out. They were released, and
Mm-hmm.
we got into the character so much that after we play games, we keep on calling each other babe. And then whenever our friends are hearing it, dude, are you okay? It's like, oh, sorry, we're into the game, but we're okay, we're okay, man. Like, no, nothing, nothing's happening here. No, nothing. Like, are you sure?
Just It's just that you guys always have each other's back, and Rakan and Zayat, like they're meant to be, It's just like one of those things, You can't. There's a connection there. You just have to like honor it with words like babe. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So it was pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I do want to read like a few comments from the live right now. So Jean recently had a birthday, so she's asking if she can have a birthday greeting from you.
Happy birthday, Jean.
Yeah, there
Happy
you go.
birthday. How old are you? How old is Jean?
Oh God, Jean, I'm so sorry. 28. She's 28.
Happy birthday, Jean. Hey, 20 is young AF, yo.
Hell
Yo,
yeah.
if you're gonna request a happy birthday shout from me, you gotta answer these tough questions, okay? There's a trade-off here.
Here we go, Jane. Just stay tuned. And then she did say that she loves it whenever you do that female voice. It's kind of cute.
My female voice? What? I've done a female voice?
Like, oh yeah, like that. We just
Oh yeah, like this.
yeah.
Gene, you like it when I talk like that? Happy birthday, Gene.
Dude, like the comment section are just like filled with girls. Like we have 5 people who are watching. So hello everyone, and everyone is just saying like they love you very much, and yeah,
Aww.
like mahal kita, Will. Oh my God.
Wait, mahal kita means what?
I love you, and that's the
Oh,
truth,
really?
man. That's the truth. Like no lies.
Oh,
Mm,
mahal kita back.
yeah, because a lot of Filipinos like to say the bad word. You know what I mean? Like the things that your mom yell when she's angry, and then they say, "Oh, that's I love you in Filipino." Yeah, you should say that. You should say that. So they're cruel. Like, God damn it.
Well, I'm glad you're not being so cruel and you're teaching me the right things to say. So I appreciate that.
Of course. Thanks, man. Oh, and
And
then
thanks for tuning in, everybody.
oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, and there is this one comment that she did say, Sharina. It's kind of difficult to say her name in the accent, but we should all normalize being able to talk about our feelings without being called another Filipino word, madrama. Dramatic, basically. Dramatic.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. Totally.
Even for the boys. Even for the boys.
Especially for the boys.
Yeah, there we go. So like that's why I'm really kind of bummed out when Gam didn't make it. Like, dude, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so sorry. I hope he's doing okay.
I hope so too, man. Oh, so dude, do you have anything else to add with the question? What do you usually talk about when you're in the reunion?
Uh, for reunions, I think we've covered it to a good extent. Extended family, not much. Friends, everything. So
Hell yeah, I agree with that. So, dude, here's the thing: we can go into this topic like very, very quickly because it's family related again. But as a kid, what do you think you wanted to be when you grew up?
I think I always had a knack for performing. Uh, my parents would we were from a military family. My dad was in the military, so we were constantly moving, and I realized very early on that humor, making people laugh, was my best tool for making new friends very quickly. In fact, I had a whole shtick whenever I'd go to like a new school when I was like really young. I think I was like 6, 7, 8, 8-ish. So I told you before we went live that my parents nicknamed me Pachog.
Yeah.
So they always called me Chug when I was growing up. I didn't know that meant chubby as a kid. I thought it was like really cute. So whenever my teacher would introduce me to the new class of kids, they'd be like, "Hi, this is William." I'd be like, "Hi, everybody." I'd say, "My name is William, but my parents call me Chug." Like chugga chugga choo choo, and all the kids would just laugh. And I remember like feeling like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great!" Like just the fact that you have the ability to like sort of make people feel good. And laughter is just awesome. So I felt like early on that I wanted to do something that involved performing and just like helping people feel good about themselves through performing.
I agree. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mangley. You somewhere down the road, like in the future, of course, you did try stand up, right?
Mm. Oh yes.
How was it? How was it like?
Oh, I loved stand up. Oh my gosh. It was like being like on a huge adrenaline rush. In fact, my very first show at the Comedy Store, which is a very popular spot for stand-up comedians in Los Angeles, my very first show, I blanked. I forgot my set. But then instead of, being like, oh, and then panicking, I actually did something called what you call riffing. It's when you sort of talk to the audience and you try to make jokes out of it.
Uh-huh.
And some of my best jokes came from that, improvising like with the audience when I forgot my set. So that was an incredible experience. And when I move to Los Angeles, I'm gonna move very close to a comedy club, and I'm gonna get back into stand up. I've always wanted to return since those years because it's so fun, so fun.
Okay, thank you, man. Sorry, I did this. I'm not pertaining to the choo choo part. I'm just saying yes, but I was on mute, so I was like, damn it.
Oh, I appreciate that. I saw it, and it was nice. I appreciate the support, brother.
Yeah, cause I love it, man. There's this like very short clip on YouTube on his channel. Please follow Will Akana on YouTube. And I remember like watching that, and I was just like laughing. And just to throw it out there, cause a lot of people know your sister like very much because like she's a big star, like big actor and all that stuff, but I resonate
Oh
with
yeah.
you so much because I remember having that same feeling that I want to do something, but I have these habits, especially League of Legends, that I want to do. And then you know what, I'm gonna dedicate myself into learning new things, just become the better version of myself. And that's why resonated with you too much, man. Like, pretty cool. And now we're here.
Yeah, man, we're shackled by the League of Legends, and we're trying to just break out and become our own legend. Make our own league.
Hell yeah. Oh god. Legends never die. Sorry.
No, legends never die. You know what I'm saying, babe? You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. It's too bad like that my friend of mine isn't watching today because he's also a teacher. Yeah, he's also a teacher. Oddly enough, I have a lot of teachers in my circle. And he's the guy that whenever he gets drunk, he teaches chemistry, and everyone will just listen like, really, really.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like
It's like what? Oh, go ahead.
okay, because what do you usually talk about, like, right? So I usually have reunions with my friends during my birthdays, and there was this one time he got really drunk, and he brought a small blackboard, just a handy dandy blackboard. He asked me if I have chalk, and then I said I didn't. So he pulled out a chalk in his pocket just to mess with me. I have a chalk, you idiot. And then he taught us about our nails. Like, why does it grow? I forgot all the terms, but everyone just looked fascinated. Like, oh wow, so as we talk, they're growing right now. And then everyone looked at their nails. I was like,
That's awesome. It's like, what kind of drunk are you? Are you a violent drunk? Are you a funny drunk? He's like, I'm a teacher drunk.
I know, right? Jesus.
That is
So like, I'm a funny drunk, and means
yeah.
yeah, like sometimes silent, but more of a funny. I talk a lot.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Sorry. I just remember a lot of stories. That's a topic for another day, like drunk
Yeah.
stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, just to quickly share, man, like for me as a kid, I really wanted to be like a singer because I remember my parents, my mom and dad, they always pushed me to sing Westlife. It's a boy band, right? Westlife. But the first song that I actually learned was from Five for Fighting, Superman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Foo Fighters, right? Foo Fighters.
Five for Fighting, Five for Fighting.
Oh, Five for Fighting? Okay, maybe I'm thinking of another one.
Oh, like yeah, yeah, maybe. But the song that really got famous in our family was "I'll Be" by Edwin McCain, and it's really just like a song like "I'll be better when I'm older." So it kind of reflects that now because I resonate with songs that reflects with me. That's why, for the 4 viewers out there, I did have an obsession with Will's Time. Played it over 400 times in Spotify. Jesus. So,
Dude, that's crazy.
I know.
No, like I definitely I know what song you're talking about. I resonate with that line too. Anytime I listen to that song, I'll be better when I'm older. I'm just like, yeah, like
Hell yeah.
age. It's gonna make me like even more mature and wiser. Wow, we really are in the same wavelength.
Right? And what was that? I'll be better when I'm older. I'll be the greatest fan of your life. It's kind of like it's a song, sure, about a loved one, but it's a song about your past self. Oh my god, dude! Like, if you can see me now, like 3-year-old Jerome, like, hello, I'm big. I got big, man. But we're older.
Yeah, I think it demonstrates a very deep appreciation for growth and an understanding that things take time and that things can really improve within over time. And I definitely share that viewpoint, man.
Oh, thank you. Dude, this is really nice. Like, just finding things out that we resonate in the same wavelength. Like, oh my god, dude.
I know it's surreal. It's yeah.
It's really cool. So, dude, do you have anything else to add with the question earlier? Like,
I think we can move forward. What do you say?
oh yeah, sure. Okay, there we
Cool.
go. Because this question I gotta ask. We did talk about this last night in another live session with the girls because we did hang out with the girls. Do you think life is easier or harder for kids these days compared to your childhood?
Oh, I think it's a mixed bag, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, It's good in some ways. Like, for example, I think kids can find a lot of outlets for expression.
Yeah.
Um, like, for example, my younger sister was always into dancing. And I think if she was still around or if she was born in this Generation Z,
Mm-hmm.
she would have definitely been glued to TikTok, making up her own dances. She was always doing that stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Working as a substitute teacher a couple years ago, I remember I was in charge of a PE class,
Mm-hmm.
and in the middle of the period, a couple girls went missing, and I was checking the roster. And I was like, "Wait a second, where's Brittany? Where's Samantha? I don't see them."
Yeah.
And my immediate thought was like, maybe they're like under the bleachers, smoking some weed or like doing some like something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like just poking around the yard, and I found them in a corner behind a building, and they were like doing the renegade, like they were like doing the TikTok dances. And I looked at that, and I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool with me. You don't have to do the mild track. Like if you guys are technically dancing, so that's totally dope. Um, but I think so in terms of creativity and in terms of reaching and expressing and staying close with your friends, I think that's great. But I do think there's a huge drawback though, in the sense that, you remember being in school, right?
Yeah.
Like the social world, like your social group, like who was popular, who wasn't popular, like that was your world, right? And nowadays with like TikTok and things with like likes and followers and things going viral and people being popular and stuff like that, I think there is a great tendency for kids to compare themselves to the popular kids. And I think that's a great source of especially for girls. There was a study, just to go on a tangent a bit. Well, no, this is related. Have you ever seen the not the social experiment, but oh my gosh, it came out on Netflix and it talked about the effects of social media and stuff like that on people. And apparently, the suicide rate for teenage girls ramp up directly correlated to the rise of social media.
Whoa.
And I know, and it's speculated it's because of so much like comparisons. People like, they create like tweets and stuff and there's cyberbullying. So I do think in this sense, because there's such a widespread of like social media that kids whose entire worlds are, the social sphere, they don't have a context and they're not taught how to use social media or to keep things within like a frame of reference, they're easily hypnotized into the idea that, it's all about being popular. It's all about going viral. And I think that can be detrimental. So there's good stuff and there's bad stuff, as with any technological advancement, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree with you, man. And it is detrimental because I remember being in school and having this realization that because I did something stupid back in school, and then
You did something stupid back in school. Get out of here.
come on, man.
Get out of here.
Everyone does.
I know. I'm busting you.
And how can I say this? I remember like feeling so guilty and shy that like when I went home, I was really glad. Like, oh shit, it's over, it's over. And then I remember like my friend. It was still like the early days of Facebook because we didn't really have like smartphones before, right? So we really used a badass computer. Like, okay, I'm gonna log into my Facebook. I'm gonna sit on the chair and all that. I remember reading this status from my friend like, oh my god, I just saw someone fall down on the stairs on their face, lol. And then like everyone was laugh like, oh god, I know this guy. I was like, shit, like it's me, fuck.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah, that was me. Because I was like running to survey the surroundings because we used to have this military training, like CAT, very common in Filipinos. So I was doing that. I was doing some rounds, checking if everyone is up in our gymnasium. And I tripped, and apparently there was someone who's watching me because they were so slow. They were moving so slow, and then I was like, "Ah, shit!" And I just wiped off like a little bit of blood on my lip, and then I was like, "Damn!" And then I just kind of felt like, what if something did happen to another person that's even more embarrassing? That would be really, heartbreaking for them because the bullying or the possible bullying doesn't stop when school is over. Like social media is right here, and it was really alarming. That's why when I was about to finish high school, our thesis, like our pre-thesis, practice thesis,
Yeah.
was all about
Yeah.
suicide. And I was like, damn, like this is really alarming. And ever since, I try my best to advocate the proper use of social media. But of course, we all have those days that we just want to shit post and post memes and dark memes. So, but no bullying, of course. So
Oh yeah, I'm sorry to hear that someone made light of your tripping over the stairs. That's so serious.
I know,
Like
man.
in the fact, yeah, like and totally. And these days, someone might videotape it or not videotape it. That's such an archaic term. Videotape. Someone might record it on their phone and share it as a TikTok and put like some like meme like music over it, right? People can be very insensitive online for sure. And that's another drawback, but I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sounds embarrassing and not the most fun thing to go through.
Definitely, but I'm all right. The next day, like Gam, of course, Gam was there. He was like, "Yeah, it's okay,
Hmm.
man. It's okay." And like, cool. A little bit of
That's a
bromance.
that's a good that's a good friend. Gam is a good friend. I'll give him that.
He is. Oh, and that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of a bit sad because I remember you talking about this in one of your videos that back in the day you were the type of student who is often quiet, like growing up, high school part, who's often quiet and who doesn't really have a lot of friends. Gam is that type of person. Like I remember meeting him, he was just like really quiet, and looking back, he always referred me as the guy who put him out of his comfort zone, whether or not he likes it or not. And then, like that's
That's
it.
really nice. Yeah, you helped him come out of his shell.
Like even in the podcast now, like with his partner, his partner is really thankful. Like, you know what, Jerome? Like, thank you for like always pushing Gam to go outside of his comfort zone. Like, yeah, the boys.
That's awesome. That's beautiful, honestly. The fact that your friendship was able to like, just help grow both of you, that's amazing.
Exactly. Thanks, man. But what about you?
Hmm.
Here we go. We're gonna branch back to the boys. We're gonna talk about it. So, I'm very interested because you did mention that you often spend a lot of time. Sorry, often and a lot. Usually spend a lot of time with your friends, especially with the boys. Um, like 10 years of friendship, man. Like, is there any secret to that? How did it come about?
Um, it's really weird because every single one of us are so different. It's like it's like if you got a video game and you were putting in stats for like personality, it's like we're all on opposite sides of the spectrum. We have one guy who is our valedictorian. He got like a 5.0 in high school. He graduated from Berkeley. He works for like these giant tech companies. We have me. I'm into music and into acting. We have someone who's a technical writer who lives in Seattle. He's very talented and also plays music. We have a guy who's more of like more introverted, like just sort of like keeping to himself. We have another guy who's like really into fashion, really into researching like things like really heavily. So it's very interesting because, as I mentioned to you before, there were years where I was like, well, why am I hanging out with these people when I should be hanging out with people in my field, like music or art or acting, sort of finding a tribe that shares my career interests, right? But it wasn't until recently, this last trip, where I've really finally realized, like, when I'm with those guys, all six of us,
Yeah.
plain and simple, we are just laughing all the time. We are joking. We are busting each other's balls. And we don't care what we say around each other, you know? Like when I'm with certain friend groups, like some actor circles, I sometimes think about how I'm coming off, and a friend also told me, it's one thing having friends within your field because
Yeah.
there might be, let's say you make a friend in the office, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of promotions, in terms of the hierarchy of the workplace, there's always something you could benefit or not benefit from depending on how you react to them, right? even if you were with your boyfriend or girlfriend, right?
Mm.
If you say something wrong, you might piss them off, and that could create trouble for your life. But with friends outside of your work or other things like that, the worst thing that could happen is that you lose that friend. But it's but to that extent, it's like you feel more free to just be who you are because there is no consequence, so to speak.
Exactly.
So I would, yeah. So I would say if you're asking me for like a secret,
Yeah.
bro, I can't even tell you if there's a secret because it just seemed like it sort of happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm.
Like, well, okay. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. It's okay.
Well, there is one particular thing because there is one of the guys that I didn't really get along with for the longest time. But I would categorize his personality as more degenerate. Not degenerate in the sense that I'm judging him, but more like he swears a lot and says kind of gross stuff sometimes, and I'm just like that's sort of I don't really like that. But this time around he was getting very degenerate, and we were playing a board game, and he was taking his loss very personally and getting angry.
Ooh.
And usually when he would be like that in the past, I would just not say anything and I would just kind of be resentful. But this time around, I just blew up and I was like, just play the effing game, yo. Like you're making this all about yourself. And I literally, I blew up and I was like, it's pissing me off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think everyone in the group was really shocked that I blew up because I'm never like that, you know?
Hmm.
And so he kind of like took it badly. And after, like a couple minutes, I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings." And he like shrugged me off and he's like, "It's okay. It's whatever." But by the end of like the evening, he went up to me and he said, "Hey, man, I was being a dick, and I'm sorry about that." And this interaction of me finally expressing myself, it led to us getting closer, interestingly enough, by allowing myself to blow up on him because I still love the guy. It's not like I
Yeah.
hate him or anything.
Hmm.
It's just that in the moment I was just really mad.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I guess I learned if there is a secret to like saying like good friends with people, like don't keep things inside. Like if you're mad at somebody, like let them know and see what happens because if you're really meant to be friends, you're gonna get over that beef. And if anything, it's gonna make you closer. That's what I would say.
That's true. That's true. And I really love the narrative that you've been sharing, man, because from my experience with the friends that I'm with, I lost a lot of friends because of confrontation. And growing up, I did lose some of those really good friends. As you said, you would really know if they're good friends if you can get over that beef. But we didn't, and it sort of led me to believe that confrontation in friendships are a bad thing. Before this was kind of my thing. So
Yeah.
I realized while I was growing up, especially with Gam, like that's why we kind of like stick together. We also share that um, thought that confrontation is a bad thing, and then like somewhere down the road, we did realize that confrontation isn't really a bad thing, especially with the fact that you can really phrase things into something better. Like for example, if you're mad at someone, you really have to prep them. Like, hey, I just really want to say it. This isn't really like to piss you off or what. I'm just really concerned about you. Blah blah blah. And then that's it. Like that's how Gam and I interact. But for some people that I also know, they just say it blandly. Like, you know what, dude,
Mm.
I don't like what you're doing, and blah blah blah. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, how about you, man? If you meet someone, or maybe you meet my past self, there we go, who kind of avoids confrontation in friendships, um, would you give them like any sort of advice, or would you just let them be and yeah?
Well, I'm also a believer that no matter what advice you give somebody,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna learn it on their own. Like you could, like if you're hiking and you go down a really bad path and you come out and you see your friend, you're like, don't go down that path. It's a bad path. Like you can say that, but then they're like, oh, well, maybe I'm kind of curious. They got to go down that path for themselves. So I'll just say that as an aside. But I really like what you're talking about when you say in your confrontation, like with Gam or whatever, you guys phrase it a certain way, right? Like if I were to go back, I would definitely phrase it differently. I might say you always want to start with saying like, hey, like you're my friend. If like this is like where you're coming from, I think that's super important because oftentimes when people are criticized, they automatically assume it's because you're out to get them, right?
God damn. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So I would definitely have gone like, hey man, like I'm your friend and like I love you, but like when you're doing this is how I feel. And when this happens, that's how I feel. And I don't really like that. And I'm not sure if like I know you care about me and I just wanted to bring this to your attention. If I had the presence of mind, Jerome, I would have definitely phrased it that way. But I didn't because that was like the first time I had ever like everything was like how do you say it? The adrenaline, tunnel vision, tunnel vision.
Yeah, tunnel vision.
Yeah, but I would, if I were to meet your younger self, I would probably mirror what you just said to me to your younger self. So good on you.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Because I also have those days, man. Of course, everyone's not perfect and all. But if I do have like the time and the patience, I would do that. But oftentimes, especially when I'm stressed or I just got off of work, I easily get snapped. And that's why the people in my life, I'm really grateful that they're mirroring what I do to them. Not the snapping part, but like where you're coming from and all that. And
Yeah.
I listen, and it's really cool. It's a cool, good experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And transparency is so important with friendships. It doesn't do any good to hold back, honestly. It just doesn't.
I agree, and I think like especially for the boys, there we go. Especially for the boys, you need to get over that fact that it's okay to be transparent with the boys as well. It's not bromance. It's not like gay or something. No, 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 no. It's being real with the boys, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes, as someone who mentioned like talking about our feelings, it should be more commonplace because oftentimes I think talking about your feelings is associated from this old idea of weakness,
Yeah.
but not facing those things is actually weakness when you think about it because then you're afraid of facing those things. So real strength is just being out in the open and allowing yourself to just feel and be perceived however people want to perceive you as. If it's a bromance, whatever.
Exactly. It kind of reminded me of another podcast that you did with David about the samurai. Dude, the samurai episode really got me. Like I kept on listening to it multiple times already. I had a lot of takeaways. I was like,
Wow.
I love it.
Do you remember what number that was? I definitely got to tell David that because he's always like, no one comments on our podcast. I wish people commented more. And I'm like, people are telling me they like it. He's like, why don't they write it in the comments then? So I got to tell him that.
Yeah. I think yeah, it was like episode 12, and then I couldn't help it. Like I just messaged David like, "Hey man, happy Thanksgiving." Did say that, and just want to share some love for the podcast, especially for a samurai. And I think he was busy, so he just left like, "Oh, thanks man, appreciate it." But I haven't left him like a detailed like how it impacted me and all, because I feel like that would be, really something special whenever you put out content and then you hear people sharing their love, feedback, and all that, whether it's good or bad. But at least it's satisfying to know that people are taking their time to watch the content you put out, right?
Absolutely. You would know a thing or two. You have a podcast.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. All right, so dude, do you have anything else to add with the boys? With the boys.
I think that's it. I think I got closer to them. Like confrontations happen, it happens, but we learned and we love each other, so we move forward.
There we go. Thank you. So, on to the next question, man. And this is like the last listed question. And what do you think is the most important life skill or value your parents taught you?
I got all of my analytical brain from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I can't narrow down specifically what he's taught me. Well, one thing that immediately pops into mind as I say that is he is one thing he told me when I was a kid. Son, if you let a friend borrow money, never expect it back. If you do, it'll ruin the friendship. And that's one thing that I definitely remember. Um, but yeah, like when I was a kid, he would just explain random stuff. Like imagine me, fifth grade, so I was like 12, and I'm on a car ride with my dad, and he just turns to me and he goes, "Do you know how World War II started? Do you know like the economic, political, social effects and how the climate?" I'm like, "No, Dad." And we spent the whole hour car ride, and then after the fact, I was like, "Wow." I had no idea the German franc was inflated and therefore there was a power vacuum and that's how Adolf Hitler came to power. I was learning these things as like a fifth grader.
Mm-hmm.
And he majored in like rocket science and stuff like that. So I could ask him things like, Dad, why is the sky blue? And he could say, oh, well, the particles reflect blah, blah, blah from the spectrum. And he could give me real answers. Yeah, so I would say everything when it comes to skepticism, when it comes to logic, he definitely had a huge influence in my life. My mom, on the other hand, she is very lighthearted, very like a happy Filipino mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so by example, I think I learned kindness and just to be more lighthearted about things. Like I was eating dinner one time when I was in like middle school, and I was like, "Mom, this food tastes funny." And she's such a dork. She like looks at me and she goes, "Oh yeah? Is it a clown?" I'm like,
Mom.
"Mom, please, please, Mom." Yeah, she's a funny lady. She has like the lamest sense of humor, but she's such an innocent spirit that it's just funny. And this is sort of a tangent, but this reminds me of another, like, not a joke she said,
Yeah.
but my Lola was like really big, right? And I was like, "Oh, Mom, like, so Lola's really big. Like, was my grandpa big?" And blah, blah, blah. And she goes, "Honey, fat people run into our family." And I was like, Mom, I think you mean being fat runs in our family. No, because never. I explained it to her, and she just had a whole kick of like, Mom, what you just said means big people literally are running into our family.
Yeah.
It was a super lame thing, but it just gave me a real kick out of it. She's a very nice, like, innocent, like, sometimes a little oblivious woman, but it's totally chill because I feel like my heart is from my mom. My brain is from my dad. Let's just say that.
I gotcha.
Yeah, what about you? What did you have like any like big lesson that you're from your mom or your dad that you really value?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I do want to say this one because I grew up without dad, and mom had to raise us alone, like me and my sister. I'm the eldest, so
Oh,
so like
the man of the house.
yeah, that's why I do the chores. That's why I do the chores. So other than the chores, man, I did learn
Yeah.
from my mom that no matter what age you are, or no matter what heartbreak you're going through, you're always gonna do it. You're always able to do it. And I saw that because I remember seeing my mom, and I don't know if mom is gonna watch this, but I remember seeing my mom crying in the middle of the night because I woke up. She was just in the living room. She was just crying, breaking down, and all. And then that's it. I just like peeked out on the door here because this used to be our family room. She was just crying, and then I went back to bed, and it stuck with me, and it gave me a new perspective to my mom that, you know what, mom is such a strong person, but we all have our battles, silent battles inside, and that's what I learned from her. You just gotta keep going forward no matter what, because you're doing this because there are people who love you, there are people who need you, and you have to do this because it's also for yourself. And when dad went back into my life, like later when I was a teenager, I remember all the crazy stuff that he did, like all the crazy stuff, like back in college, high school, and all that stuff. And it was shocking. It was shocking that to know that dad did all of those stuff. But looking at my dad now, he kind of taught me that no matter what shitty thing you did in the past, you're always gonna be able to bounce back because it's a choice. It's not gonna be like, oh no, like I'm such a bad person and all that. Like, no, don't put labels on yourself. That's another thing. So you can always bounce back up. So they're still separated. Dad has a new family now. Mom is still doesn't have a boyfriend, and she doesn't want to have a boyfriend because it's a whole topic for another day. So, those are the two valuable lessons that I learned from my parents. Just keep moving forward, and if you ever fall down, you can always bounce right back up.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Mhm.
So a lot of emotions on a weekend.
I know it's shaping up to be a very wholesome weekend.
It is. My goodness. Oh, and there's like another thing. I also learned this from my sister, because I am the eldest, so I have to like oversee everything. I remember her telling me like, Kuya, how do I edit? How do I edit photos? How do I edit videos and all that?
Yeah.
And back in college, and he was still in high school, she would really like take time to listen to me. And like now that she's in college and she's creating content in her school, I'm really proud that, like, oh my god, like you did listen. Oh shit. So regardless of the age, if you chose to listen, you would really really take it into heart. So that's one of the things I learned from my sisters, like, oh my god, sis. And she doesn't know that mom and my sister are outside of the house. They're probably shopping or like strolling around, but hell yeah.
Wait, so you're marveled by the fact that your sister actually took your advice when she was younger?
Yeah, yeah. And I really thought that, because my sister is kind of like the boss in the house. Like, she's often me like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. Then she just flipped me off like, what? I'm not even doing anything. And she often does that too. Like, she'll knock on my door. We will talk about our dogs, and then if she will ask me like, are you doing a podcast? Yeah. Like, it's like, what, dude? Stop.
Oh my god.
I like
She's trolling you, bro. She's trolling you.
Definitely. So, seeing my sister as a tough and tough woman, and looking at that now, like, oh my god, you did listen. So, oh, okay.
Yeah, she had a wonderful mentor for an older brother, it sounds like.
And that she can beat up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and side tangent, when you did the wait, is your audience primarily Filipino?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, so this is awesome. So, in high school, I had like one or two Filipino friends in this math class, and we had some classes together. And sometimes we would do what's called the Filipino test. And what you do is we would sit in the back, and we would go, and only the Filipino kids would turn around and say, "What's happening? What's happening?" And it was awesome. It was the easiest way to find the Filipino kids in your class.
Dude, like,
It just reminded me. Good times.
I also do that too, man. But I had to stop because a lot of people outside, okay, like before the pandemic, they like to do that. So if I turn around and they see me, like, oh, they kind of use it for like marketing tactics, like, oh, would you like to be interested into buying this and all that? Like, oh, no, thank you. I'm just minding my own business. So I had to stop responding to that.
Oh yeah, it's hard though because it's like ingrained in our Filipino blood. You know what I'm saying? Like that, picking up things with our feet and our toes, and
God.
pointing with our mouth.
Yep. Okay, dude. So this kind of reminds me of a question. This question came from one of our audience. It was I believe it was like night 3, so it was like our third episode, third live session, and he did ask if you are able to grow a functioning finger, any part of your body, where will it be? I know, like they give me that shock look, like what the hell? Yeah, and my first answer was, dude, feet. I gotta do it, and I really thought of it because I often use my left toe, my left feet to like grab things. My right kick is for kicking, and I did give an elaborate answer, and everyone was like, "What the hell are you thinking about, Jerome? Like, how long did you plan this?" All my life.
I mean, if you're using your feet for so many things, it's like I'm sure it would have dawned on you at one point, be like, it would be a little more useful if there was a one more appendage here to like secure things, right?
Yeah, so you can do the claw on your feet, like the claws.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, so dude, what about you? Do you got questions or anything else to add, man?
Let's see. I felt like we talked about the friend group thing. I wanted to talk about that, but I think we basically we covered all of that.
Yeah.
I feel like we covered a lot of things. Is there anything you'd like to posit for further questions or anything you'd want to explore further?
Oh yeah. Okay. We can ask the viewers. Hey guys. We only have 4 people left, so hey, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you on a Saturday. Yeah, it's Saturday afternoon. It's 1:19 p.m. And Jean is still here. Jean is still here, and she's just I'm just back reading the comments, and she said that that's a train, referring to your Filipino nickname. That's a train carrying bubblegum, like choo choo train. Ha ha ha. Get it? Cause chug. That's oh god. Okay. Okay.
I'll see you. I'll see you. Chugga chugga choo choo. It's a train.
Yeah. And what else? What else? And yeah, like she loves the fact that when you did mention fighting relationships, and she was like, "Oh, tell me more, please. Tell me more." It's just like doing the eyes thing, like, "Tell me more." So that's that. Like if you do have like questions for us, like please let us know. There we go. But of course, the question that everyone kept asking me, man, are you still single? Are you still single?
I'm married to the grind.
I knew it. Oh, okay. This one. So, this is still about family reunions, specifically like Filipino. Here we go. Whenever you have like your past experience, like 4 years ago, were you very uncomfortable in asking or answering the question, "Oh, why are you still single? Why?"
Um, well, as there is most of my Filipino family is still in the Philippines. A lot of my family here, they're very like Western. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like Americanized. They're Asian for sure, but they're very much Americanized. So, I'm sorry, Jerome, but I didn't have the. I'm not constantly as bombarded as you of like my relationship life or things of that nature. But I anticipate, bro, it must be difficult for you to like constantly. You're still single, right?
Yeah. But I'm seeing someone. Like not yet. So it's not official. So, but yeah, I'm seeing someone.
Okay. What a tease. I'm kind of seeing someone. All right.
So
So,
yeah.
yeah.
You first, man. Here we go.
Oh, I was gonna say. So, in your response to those questions, when your grandma asks that, what do you say? Do you say sort of? Do you say yes? Do you say no?
Okay, that's a good one. Well, I don't say anything. I just say, you know what, Grandma, I love you. How are you? So I just revert back the question because my grandma loves to talk a lot, especially about the family, reflecting back in her life and all. So so I just do that. Like, you know what, Grandma, I love you. I missed you, Grandma. You gained weight? Wow, yeah, I gained weight too. And then like she will just
Smart.
laugh, like you're avoiding the question. Like,
Yeah, it's like that's some conversational kung fu you got going on.
yeah. Oh, okay. So Jean did ask a question, and Oh, this is a good one. Have you been with a Filipino tita in a reunion?
Like an auntie?
Yeah, like an auntie.
I think, well, I visited the Philippines when I was young, so at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But a tita, my mom doesn't have any sisters.
Whoa!
She has 13 brothers.
Oh my god! All bros. And then one.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the only girl in her family. Isn't that crazy?
Oh
And
my,
she's the oldest.
she's,
She had to take care of all her brothers.
oh my god, dude! Like your mom is such a strong, independent woman. 13 brothers.
You know, that's the crazy part. When my dad was like 20 something when he met her, and she was 17, working at as a waitress, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he was in the military, and that's how they met her. That's how he met her. And I was like, Dad, she was 17, and you were in your 20s.
Yeah.
And he was like, Son, she was very mature for her age. And so now that that you see like her background, she was taking care of her family. So I can kind of get a sense of like on an emotional level, she was probably pretty mature. So
Yeah, because it's really something whenever you take care of your families. Like you really have to step aside, push aside your dreams and aspirations first, and put the family first. That's great.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, as you know, you had to take care of, your sister and be the man of the house doing your share of chores and everything.
And sometimes tiring, and then like my sister will just flip me off, like, "You didn't leave me any rice, really?" They're like, "Yeah." That's often our fights. Like, do we still have rice? Like, no. Yeah, because you finish all of it. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm just gonna cook food for you. Okay, there we go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and Jean also asked. You did also mention this before. She just really wants me to ask you again. Do you know Shanghai?
Yeah.
Shanghai.
Shanghai? Who's Shanghai?
Oh crap. Lumpia.
You mean Shang-Chi?
Lumpia.
Shang-Chi, the movie star?
No. Like, oh god. Lumpia. Because that's like another name, for lumpia, like Shanghai. Lumpiang Shanghai.
Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't. Hold on one second. I have to plug in my laptop. It's about to die.
Sure, man.
One second. Sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
Give me 1 second. I am plugging it in now. Okay.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, back to reality.
There we go. Okay, so dude, Gene said like 13 brothers. That's really something about mom. I can't help but imagine like your dad's experience making courting your mom. Are you familiar with the word ligaw? Ligaw? Okay,
What is that?
it's the Filipino word for courting. Courtship, basically.
Oh, how do you say it again?
Ligaw, like ligaw.
Ligaw.
Yeah.
Ligaw. Okay.
Yeah. And I just can't help but imagine it, man. Like, maybe, for example, like your dad and your mom, like, they're dating, right? Back in the day. And maybe this is like another story, but, like, I'm now curious. Like, how did your dad felt meeting all the 13 brothers? Was that like interrogation? Like, oh, so you're gonna date our older sister? Are you sure?
Oh, well, they were little. You know what I'm saying? She was like probably like 4 or 5 years older than everyone else. So it's like, so what he saw was probably like a really beautiful woman who's like taking care of like all these.
Oh, it's so
But yeah, I'll give you one story if you want to know a little bit about like their relationship, and it's pretty funny. He told one time I asked him like, Dad, how did you know my mom was a one? And he said, well, I went over to her house, and her family lived next to this coconut tree, and they wanted some coconuts, so I went over to climb, the coconut tree, kind of want to show off like my
muscle.
you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So he gets up, he gets almost to the coconuts, but you know how sometimes the leaves fall and they form like that layer of like fallen leaves?
Yeah.
He gets to that and he realizes it's too dangerous to try to go over. And he's like, oh man, so he like climbs down, and my mom goes over to him and she goes, are you done? And he goes, yeah, I can't get the coconuts. She goes, okay. And then she walks over to the house. She gets a big long stick, and then she goes, and all the coconuts fall down. And he goes, "This woman has a sense of humor." So, even though my mom was like, she had like, she had a lot of responsibilities. I'm sure it must have been hard on her. She did have like a wicked sense of humor that I think that was appealing to my father. So, and here I am. Look,
Yeah, here we go.
you mix them both together, and there you have it.
There we go. I was gonna make a Hannah Montana joke, just mix them all together. Anyway,
Best of both worlds.
there we go. Jeannie's really captivated with your parents' story. Like, it's so cute. There it is. It's so cute. Mm. Oh, and she also asked, like, Jean is actually like very, very active. So thank you, Jean. Aside from adobo, like, have you tried any Filipino foods?
Well, I grew up. My mom would make, pancit, and is it pronounced apretada or something?
Oh my God, yeah, like a F sound, afritada.
Afritada. Oh my God, it's with an F. Afritada. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh my God.
With that,
Uh-huh.
I just learned that, Jerome. You taught me something. It's afritada. Okay, some of that. Pancit, lumpia, of course, sinigang. Probably some more stuff, but I've just forgotten it.
All right, it's okay, man. Because there's
Yeah.
this running joke in the Philippines, especially back in the pandemic, because everyone had a lot of time, and when you have a lot of time, you think about a lot of stuff. So there are like, I'm not sure, Gene, help me out, because I'm not also good with Tagalog. I mostly spoke English growing up, so there are three dishes that kind of are similar to each other. Same goes like afritada, menudo, and caldereta. Basically, like it's the same thing. If you look at it blindly, like you will, let's say for example, mom would cook it and then like she will serve it to you. You wouldn't know which one is which because it's all about the meat size and the meat cut. So
Oh.
it was like really really weird because if it's diced, it's menudo. If the cut is like very big, it's like afritada. So I was like, what? Like, who came up with this? But it's the same thing. It just has tomato sauce. Just has tomato sauce. Oh my God. Jesus. Oh God.
That's so funny.
Yeah. My God. Okay. But what about you, man? Do you have like anything else to like ask me or ask the audience and whatnot?
Um, I think we've covered a variety of topics. It's actually running quite late, my brother.
Oh yeah.
So my eyes are beginning to go. "Ooh,
Oh yeah.
ooh."
Because if I'm correct, it's already 9:30. 9:30.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I've been waking up quite early these days. So I'm like, oh,
I knew it. And you had quite a long day because you did go to the gym, right?
I went to the gym. I submitted 15 voiceover auditions today. So like, it's been a full day.
Dude, that's awesome. I get
Thanks. Hopefully, I get one.
hopefully. Oh, and
Yeah.
there's this comment too that hopefully this isn't like the last time we see you two. Like, yeah, we can schedule as long as Will's schedules is free. So maybe.
Yeah, yeah. If you wanna have me on, I'd be happy to come on, man. I'm gonna next time I come on, I'm gonna ask you some questions. You better be ready.
Oh yes, please. There we go.
I'll probably give you the questions in advance, so you'll be ready. But whatever.
Yeah. Just throw in like a little bit spontaneous questions too. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So thanks, man. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Please tell us where to find you so that everyone can support your projects and all that.
Sure. So if you guys want to follow my short films, I haven't been posting too much lately, but there's definitely one that I'm editing. That is on Just Act Shorts. You can find that on Instagram, primarily Instagram. And then otherwise, if you want to find me online, it's Will Akana, Will, Will Akana, Akana. And that's just global. All my social media handles are just my name. So it's very simple.
All right. So thank you, man. Oh, and please, tune in. Okay, like listen to Will's songs. Okay, please. I highly recommend it. Especially
Aw.
time. Please.
Aw, well, thank you. I appreciate that, man.
All right. So thanks, man. Right. Oh, do you got anything else to say before we wrap things up?
Just love and peace, guys. Like, you're worth it. I love you. Like, no, wait, no. Mahal kita. Is that it?
Yeah.
Mahal kita.
All right. So thank you, Will. So everyone is saying good night. Thank you so much for the podcast, especially Jean. Have a good night from the other part of the world. XOXO.
XOXO back.
All right. So thank you, Will. Have a good night and have a great day to everyone in the Philippines. There we go.
Have a great day, everyone.
All right,
Thank
so
you.
Goodbye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. All right. And that's it for this episode. If you'd like to support the podcast, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Runaway Podcast. Subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, Runaway with Runaway Podcast.